Hey guys, it's me Dave and welcome back to another LEGO set review. Guys, we have the Creator Expert Fiat 500. It's ages 16 plus, its number is 10271, has 960 pieces with a retail price of $90 US. So this is another classic car that's being introduced in these long line of Creator Expert cars. We've gotten, for example, the Volkswagen Beetle, we've gotten the Volkswagen Bus, the Mini Cooper, and I think the latest one before the Fiat 500 was the Ford Mustang, which was very popular. And now we have the Fiat 500, which is a very, very popular car in Europe, or at least it was. I don't know if it isn't today, but I know at one point, especially during the mid 60s to 70s, this was kind of like the iconic car in Europe. Now, this car, particularly the Fiat 500, it's not a very sexy car, and I'm sure a lot of you will point out that this is like kind of like an ugly car. It's yellow. It looks, looks like an even smaller Volkswagen Beetle. You can throw everything at it, but at the end of the day, basically what this car comes down to the fact is it was a cheap and compact car that most Europeans needed. It's a very small car in real life. Because if you guys have ever been to Europe, for those of you who live in America, which is where I live, then you'll know that their streets in Europe are extremely small, so you need extremely small cars to kind of fit down them. If you've ever been to like Italy or Paris or anything like that, then you'll know that compact cars are very important in cities like that. So that's why this car was so popular. It was cheap, affordable, small, and it got its job done. It wasn't meant to be a sexy car. It was meant to just be utilitarian. It's supposed to get its job done. So very nice. On the back here you can see there is a little camper box. There's even a little moonroof on this thing. Nice amount of details. Looks like there's an engine with there's an engine and a spare tire. So very, very cool. I really like that. This thing has a frunk, not a trunk. It has a frunk because the engine's in the back. So that's very European. But yeah, this is an exciting new set to add to the LEGO car collection. I'm very excited to start building this. You can see here on the top of the box there's some drawings and stuff like that. It looks very nice. You can actually see the original Fiat 500 car here. Before I start building this, I do want to mention that, it is a little strange that LEGO is selling this in the US. I don't think this is going to sell well in the United States because a lot of people don't really know about this car. If you haven't ever ventured to Europe or know about the culture over there, then this car kind of just goes over your brain. Even though the Fiat 500, the newest version, I think it's made by Chrysler or something nowadays, and here in 2020, they actually sell the Fiat 500, the newest version here in America, but it's an extremely unpopular car. So let's go ahead and go to the top camera and we're going to go ahead and unbox this set. But before that, I do want to thank LEGO for providing this set. They did provide it for free. I really appreciate it, guys. So I'll be able to review it and share my opinion. They're not paying me or anything like that. So all my opinion here is my own. All right, so here's the box right here. It looks very nice again. There's the back. Looks nice. I like the colors. It's very European. It's coming off very nice. But let's go ahead and open that up. It's got the little I don't even know what they call these. Alright, so there we go. Very nice. We have, let's see, not too many bags actually. There's only three steps. There's at least 9 bags here, plus this cloth for, I guess, the moonroof. Here's the instructions. Go ahead and open this up. Wow, that is an instruction manual. Look at that. Look at that, guys. I'm going to put that up to the camera right now. That is really cool. That is a very different instruction manual. Actually, I really like that. Usually, especially with something like this, yeah, so you can see that there's a lot of heritage to the Fiat brand, especially in Europe. So if you're a fan of the company, maybe you had one of these cars at one point, then you'll definitely enjoy this. Get to meet the designer and the challenge of making the car. Here's the old Fiat 500 and the new Fiat 500. So a lot of cool things going on. It's not a big instruction manual. What is that? Only 137-ish pages. So not a very hard build, which is nice. There's those stickers. They actually look really nice too. So I actually really like the license plate. I think this particular, that's probably the designer's initials. Usually that's what they do, or it could be the DK. But that's usually what the what the Lego team likes to do with these cars is whoever designed it gets to put their initials on the license plate. So very cool. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and open this set up. It is gonna be a nice little time lapse. I'll go ahead and do the top down time lapse for you guys rather than this view. So we'll go to the top down and you'll be able to see me build the car, and then we'll do in depth and come back for my final thoughts. So let's do that right now, guys. All right, guys, so jumping into the in-depth of the Fiat 500. Coming off the build, I gotta say, I really enjoyed this and was quite surprised by the techniques that Lego has used to create this car. It's a little bit different and probably not what a lot of you would expect when building it. It's a little more complicated in a good way. It was simple but complicated, if that makes any sense. Turning to the inside of the car, on the inside of the main doors, you'll notice there's a little crank there, nice little detail for rolling down the window, and a little handle. On the center dash, you'll notice there's a little glove box and a ignition for your keys. It's a sticker piece. Then you have your steering wheel here with a Fiat printed circular tile, and then there's a circular gauge, and there's also a gear selector with the steering wheel. In the middle, you'll also, actually, I guess that isn't the gear selector because the middle's the gear selector, so I guess that piece underneath the steering wheel must be, windshield wipers or something like that. So you have a gear selector right there, and then you also can flip the seats upwards, and that also reveals there is back seats in this, even though it's a two-door car, which is, I gotta imagine it's pretty cramped back there. Probably not the most comfortable for adults. I'm sure kids could fit back there back in the day, probably not adults comfortably. On the front, you'll notice there's that little Fiat badge coming off to the side. This is what I'm talking about in terms of building techniques. There's a lot of curvature to this set. It's very interesting to see how Lego created those curves, how those pieces are angled right there. On the back of the car, there's this kind of suitcase of sorts. It's like a giant suitcase or a briefcase almost, and inside of it I put some of the extra license plates. Comes with a bunch of different ones that kind of reflect to the country that the Fiat 500 is in. I don't know what the other symbols mean. I'm sure there's some secret lingo going on there between the Lego designers, but there's also different ones you can attach in the front as well. You can choose. There's also the Fiat 500 logo on the back there, and if you remove the back door, you can actually see the full engine comes on and off. It looks very nice. It's a lot of details in there. As for the windows on the side here, it's a new piece, I believe, and there's also the front window with a sticker on the side, which I don't really enjoy as much, but that other part right there, the curving part of the window, is quite nice. There's also a sunroof, and here's what a minifigure looks like next to the vehicle. It's quite big, actually. Here's what it looks like underneath. Nothing too crazy to write home about. There's no steering or anything like that. The wheels are stagnant. They don't move at all. In the front area, there's kind of this frunk because the engine's in the back, obviously. And there's actually a spare tire that you can push out, which is, I guess it's an interesting little tidbit to the real Fiat 500. Then you have a nice little painting and art easel here, along with a minifigure for scale. It's on a 6x6 tile there, and you can see how the art easel is kind of set up there with a little connector to adjust it if you want it to look a little bit different. And that's it. So that's the Fiat 500. Very nice vehicle. So let's head out to the final thoughts on this set, guys. All right, guys, so we took the in-depth, and I gotta say, this car looks a lot better in person than it does on the box. If you have a Lego store near you, I'm sure they'll have this set on display. And I think once you see it in person, it's definitely, obviously it's still not a pretty or sexy car or anything like that, but it is very interesting as a Lego build. It has a lot of unique dimensions, especially when you look at like this angle, particular top down. You could see how they've created these angles here on the side that and in the front that are very unique. I haven't ever really seen that before. In terms of functions, there's not too many obviously in the car. It's mostly a display vehicle. Obviously, there are some little mini functions with, you know, being able to open all these different things, and you can switch the license plates out depending on like what country. So, and I do like this moonroof. I think that's pretty neat. Not sure if I'm a big fan of the art easel. It's a nice touch. This is probably a famous painting that I don't know of, but it's nice. It's not really minifigure scale, but I'd say definitely the reason you'd get this set is for this car. And also I gotta say, again, once you see it in person, this is a new kind of yellow color. I forget what they call it. It's like bright yellow. I don't know what the Bricklink term is, but it's like it's different from the normal Lego yellow color. It's a little bit more paler, and I actually really like it on this car. It looks very nice. It's very accurate to the real Fiat 500. But yeah, this is a very well-made set, extremely sturdy. I mean, if you want a kid to play around with it, you could, but I definitely consider this like a display piece. But it is very nice. I absolutely love the interior and what Lego has done here. Looks great. It's very accurate to the real car. So if you happen to be a fan of the Fiat 500 car, or you just love collecting all these classic Lego car vehicles that they've been making over the last couple of years, this is actually a really good set to add to that collection, in my opinion. For $90, I think it's a fair price. This is the first set that we've ever gotten so much of this new Lego color, this bright yellow color. This is the most we've ever gotten in one particular set. So if you're interested in just the parts of this set, then this is a great option if you want this color. 960 pieces, $90. I feel like this is pretty fair considering this technically is a licensed set. It's licensed through Fiat. So that's not bad. 90 bucks. I feel like it's definitely a substantial set. I feel like you get a lot for your money. I really enjoyed the build. It was actually a very fun build. It's a little bit challenging. I wouldn't quite say 16 plus. I think someone who's like 12 could build this, but I don't think any child would definitely be interested in this. This is definitely an adult-oriented theme, especially considering it's a car from the 60s that isn't really popular today. At least in America, it isn't popular. So I don't think this is really aimed at kids at all, or even teenagers. I think this is definitely an adult type of set. Regardless, as someone who's kind of I guess a millennial, young adult, I actually really like it. I think there's really quite a lot of different interesting Lego techniques on here. So if you're a Lego fan first, I really think you're actually going to like this set. There's some really cool new pieces and new colors. So I like the set, believe it or not. I'm not a huge fan of the car design, but as a Lego set, this is pretty good. I gotta say, it's a solid set. Regardless what you think of it, I still think it's a great Lego set. So it does come recommended. Thanks again to Lego for providing this set for review. Again, they're not paying anything. This is all my own genuine opinion, I promise. I think it's a good Lego set. I don't think the car itself is very interesting or sexy like a Mustang, but it is iconic to Europe, and it's a very interesting Lego build that I think a lot of you are really going to enjoy. All right, that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. Hit subscribe down below if you want to see more Lego set reviews. I promise there's more coming. That's going to be it. Hope you guys have a great and wonderful day. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.